So one game I've been playing, or that I played, finally. Okay, so I have a few games of shame that I've owned for years and never played. One of those I can scratch off that list. I have finally played
Congrats.
The Dragon and Flagon. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. The Dragon and Flagon by Stronghold Games. This is designed by Jeff Engelstein and his family members, I guess. There's Brian Engelstein and Sydney Engelstein. I don't know the relationship.
Family
I know
fair.
It's like father, son. I don't know. Anyway, daughter. I have no idea who Sydney is.
Cousin.
Anyway. Yeah, sure.
Second removed. I don't know.
Second removed. Their dog, maybe they named their dog Sydney.
That's a smart dog.
Yeah, it's a really smart dog. So this, and it is published by Stronghold Games. So what this is your classic program movement game, a la. What's that? Other games that do the same thing. Hold on. Okay.
So programming.
Programming of Robo Rally.
Robo Rally, Root. Erie.
The train one. What's the train one called? Hold on, I have it. It's on my list to sell.
Is it Mechs and Minions?
No.
Robo Rally.
It's a train game. It's a 3-dimensional train.
Camel Up?
Colt Express.
Oh, okay. I was close. I get Colt Express and Camel Up mixed up all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing like Camel Up, but it is a lot like Colt Express. Actually, it's a lot like Colt Express, where you have a hand of cards and try and program movements, but things change, so your program doesn't always go through. But the thing with this one is that it is a bar brawl, with pirates and swashbucklers and magicians and ninjas and just whatever they want to throw in there, having a fight, and they are all fighting over the Flagon, the Dragon and Flagon.
Okay,
it's like no, hold on, I've got this.
Okay, hey, all right, I need to make a comment. I'm gonna break a rule, but I want you to finish.
No, what? I want you to break that rule.
Remember how I said I was gonna be nice?
It's all you.
I do not like the word Flagon. Like, there's something
word
about Flagon like just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I'm really anxious to hear, but there's something about the word Flagon that literally I can't get over. I'm a dummy. I don't get it. I just Flagon. I'm like, ugh. Like it's a word that just like, I don't know. Anyways, please continue, but I just must express my discontent for the word Flagon. Continue,
on that
please.
Note, I 100% agree with you. Like, I have to say the Dragon and Flagon. I can't just say, oh, let's go find a Flagon. Yeah. No, it makes me uncomfortable. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, that's really interesting that we have that type of vibe, but
it's
like,
a strange word.
This is a weird title. Title.
Well, in high school we called the girls who did flag. I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, like flag twirling.
Yeah, we call them flaggots, which is a terrible word, and I never felt comfortable saying that. Even this moment right now, I feel uncomfortable in my bones saying that word.
Flaggots?
Yeah.
Like Rockettes, but like flaggots.
Yes, exactly. Sure. Or like, anyway.
Okay,
but
sure.
Anyway. Okay, so the Dragon and
my wife
Flagon,
was a flaggot.
Yeah. See, and I was in marching band. There's some history there. I wanted to get a trombone to be in a ska band, and the only way to do that was to be in marching band my junior year of high school in Randolph, New Jersey.
Do you think gun twirling, they'd be called gunettes?
I do think that, yes.
And that was Dragon and Flagon, everybody. Just
Dragon and Flagon.
Game where you talk about whatever the heck you were in high school.
Man, high school was a weird time.
It was a weird time.
So in this game, you are programming your movement. Everyone has a very similar deck of cards with a few variations to make a deck their own. There's a ton of different characters, and they each have their own unique deck. But I'd probably say about half the deck is the same for everyone. But there's anything from, like I said, pirates to magicians to ninjas, and they all kind of do something different. But this board is set up three-dimensionally, partially, I should say. So it's a board, and it's the inside of a bar, and you have rugs, and you have tables, which are actually like three-dimensional cardboard tables, and you have wooden chairs and barrels and mugs and other things that you can interact with, right? You can throw chairs, you can pull a rug, you can push a table, you can attack in spaces, and cards are what do everything. So every action that you do, and anything that you do in the game is associated with the card. So if you're next to a rug, you could play your pull rug card, but when that card is activated, the rug's no longer there or around you, then it doesn't happen, right? It's that common thing, which I fell in love with that aspect with Road Rally. That's not what it's called. Road Rally?
Robo Rally.
Robo Rally, thank you.
Road Rally, what the heck, dude?
Road Rally, what's that game? With Robo Rally back in the day, and I love that. And this does it well. It does it fine. I like this game more than Cult Express. There's actually a really interesting element of time in this game. So each card has a number on the top right that says how long the movement takes, and there's numbers along the outside of the board. And if you play a card that takes two time slots, then you move your token 2 up. But other cards can only take 1, so people could be going slower than you, and so there's a time token going around the board 1 square at a time. So if you play a card that could be super powerful, but then you're out for a couple of rounds not being able to do anything. And so it's really interesting. Is it worth investing the time to do these stronger moves? It is random because you're trying to figure out what the other players are going to do. So the randomness does come from players, though. It's not in-game randomness. Randomness. It's from the players. And honestly, it's fun. We weren't like amazed by this game. It's a harder game to teach having not played it, which is what I did, and it's because of that time element, trying to explain the timing of everything. And the programming is only 2 cards in advance. If you get stunned or dazed or whatever it's called, you have to plan 3 out in advance. But it's not a lot of advanced programming, and it's fun. It's one I want to keep in my collection for now, and definitely play it again. I do, like I said, I would play this over Cult Express. I don't have, as much as I loved Robo Rally, I actually don't have that anymore. I think we overplayed it and we didn't play it the right way, so we kind of got sick of it. But I do love that game as well. There are other programming games I like as well. This is probably on the simpler version, simpler end of things, where on the more complex side would be, hold on, Space Alert. Space Alert is probably the most complex one I've ever played.
Sure.
And this is far more simple than that and a lot more accessible because of it. Now, did you ever play this game? It's been out since 2016 is when it's published. Have you played it in any of those years that it's been out?
Nope, I haven't played this. I've seen it, and I've always cringed at the word flagon.
Yeah, I get it.
One thing, so there's been kind of a trend, kind of started in 2018, but I imagine it's gone on for a lot longer, but board games that tell stories. And I think what this game seems to do is tell a story about a crazy bar fight, right? Do you feel like it executed well on the idea of it being able to be like, oh man, I played this crazy game of Dragon and Flagon where I got in, I was like, like being able to like tell the story that you were in a bar fight. Does it do that or no? Like, can it tell a story like that?
It totally does. Like with me, I was stuck on top of tables. I couldn't get off because I kept getting pushed over, or I was trying to do something where I had like to jump off of a table to do it, and I couldn't because of one reason or another. So it was just super funny that I was in the middle of everything, just like stuck on tables because I couldn't get down. Also, the flagon, I should say, is a mug or something in the middle of the board that people can fight over. And if you are in possession of it, it gives you the ability to play the most powerful card in your deck, but only if you have that. And so people are fighting over that, right? But yeah, I totally think it does tell those kind of stories where, you know, like funny things happen, and it's not, once you start playing it, it's really easy to just kind of execute. The cards tell you what they all do. But yeah, it could totally tell those kind of stories.
Do you think the game, like, I didn't realize that this was a 3-dimensional game. Like, what does the 3-dimensional, what do the cardboard tables or the things that are in the game that bring it up from the table add to the game?
Yeah, excellent question. So, like for the table specifically, I was the swashbuckler, and a move I had was I could jump off the table while swinging my sword down onto the ground. But I have to actually jump down in order to play that card. Or there's also like barrels around that you can kick and they roll across in a straight line and knock anyone down in line and destroy chairs. You can pick up chairs and throw them. So it's not a dexterity game, which people thought it was when I was talking to them about this originally. But it does add kind of that table presence, and it gives context to what's happening. I think if everything was flat, it would not be able to tell the same stories. It would not be able to give context as to what is happening. The only flat thing is actually the rugs are are just pieces of cardboard, but they actually don't move. Also, it does allow for variations in setup as well. But I think that three dimensionality is definitely key to help, like you said, tell those stories or give context on what moves you are actually doing.
So there do you have like little meeple characters or things that kind of denote where you are?
So that's funny. I was going to explain that too. It's not plastic miniatures. It's actually cardboard standees with the art. And art's not great in this game. I don't like that style of illustration in this game. I'm sure other people do. It's just not my thing. But they are all standees. But most of the 3-dimensional components are wood, which is nice. Everything but the tables themselves, like the chairs are, the barrels, the mugs, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's honestly it's about standard Stronghold production quality, if that makes sense.
Yep, that definitely does make sense.
It's just on par with everything else Stronghold does. Take that what it may, if that affects you. It's the reason I don't buy Terraforming Mars type thing.
Sure.
So
interesting. There was like one other question that I can't think of, but
Flagon is the word. Is that the question? It's pronounced Flagon.
Flagon. Are you sure it's not Flurgan?
It's the Dragon and Flagon.
Flagon. Oh yeah. Where does the dragon come into play in all? Is that like the Dragon Inn, or what part does the dragon come in?
The mug has a dragon on it.
Oh, for God's sake.
Maybe there's some history, but I don't know context. Like there's some sort of story. The game ends, and the end of the game is when the security shows up, which are like armed guards. So I don't know. I'm not looking for a deep theme in this game, right? I have no idea the context, but there is a dragon on the mug. Oh, also, fun side note, if you're playing with kids and you don't want to have the alcohol theme, you can replace it with a token that is a plate of chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, that's
which
nice.
Is adorable. I think it's so cute. And then also on the other side of the board, I should mention, is represents 2 pirate ships, and so you can switch from fighting in a brawl to fighting on 2 pirate ships. And I think it changes the roles a tiny bit, but I have no idea how.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like that kind of move. To be able to fight over chocolate. I might even be more interested in fighting over chocolate chip cookies. Just saying.
I think the name of the game would be different. A plate of chocolate chip cookies versus the Dragon and Flagon.
The one last thing I wanted to say is that for some reason I always got this mixed up with Red Dragon Inn.
Yeah, I can see that though. I feel like, okay, so in that one, you're trying not to get too drunk, right? I've actually never played it. I've heard good things though.
Yeah, I have no idea. For some reason, I see the both of them, and I think it's just because Dragon exists in the game, and they both involve kind of being in bars. So,
and flagons.
Yeah, so many. Let's move on, man. Talking about flagons is just getting me all salty. I don't understand why.
No, I get it. That is the Dragon and Flagon by Stronghold Games.
Flagon.